Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football show. It is off-season week number 10. That's right. I believe we're releasing on March 24th. We're right in the middle of March Madness. So, and I understand if everybody's paying attention to basketball. We've got a great college basketball show right here on Sportsbook Review. However, there is still football going on. The FCS is happening. We say off-season. We don't like that word because there's always something moving in this sport. It continues on, and we will get to a lot of the news and topics and whatnot, and we'll try and stay on brand with some brackets. We'll stay in with that, but we're going to keep it football-related. So we will get to that. First things first, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That is your one-stop shop. Go and check it out for all of your college football gambling needs, during the season especially. But right now, there's futures odds out. There's all kind of articles going on, and there's FCS games being played. Those do have spreads on them. You feel like getting a little football action in the middle of all this basketball? That is the place to be. So go ahead and check that out, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Make sure that you go ahead and like the video, that you subscribe to the channel. There's a little button right there at the bottom that says subscribe, and go ahead and jump in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts on the show, your opinions, whether you like it, don't like it, any topics you would like for us to discuss, etc. If you don't want to jump in the comments, that's okay. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. I am at GaryWCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Or you can email us. If you don't do the Twitter thing, if you don't do the YouTube thing, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. You can always email us. And I think everybody does email, right?
Sure.
I think so.
Can't imagine somebody not doing email in today's world.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm Gary at winningcureseverything.com.
And I'm Chris at winningcureseverything.com.
So let's go ahead and dive into the topics of the week, and we will try and keep it short because I know that all of your attention is going to be on basketball right now. That's perfectly fine. But the first topic that we want to get to, the SEC has announced the schedule for all of their spring football games. That's it. Last year, we had none.
That's right.
This year, we're getting through every one of them. All of them will be televised. SEC Network Plus is the majority of them. The only one that's not is Alabama, and they will be on ESPN on April 17th at 1 p.m. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. So all of these, we'll go ahead and read them off. Saturday, March 20th is Missouri. And then you've got Saturday, April 17th. That's the bulk of them. That's the majority. And it should be beautiful weather. Beautiful weather across the Southeast in the middle of April. Mississippi State is going to be at noon. Vanderbilt at noon. Alabama at 1 p.m., LSU at 1 p.m. Then you've got Georgia and Auburn, both at 2 p.m., Arkansas at 3 p.m., and then you move to the next Saturday. And you got South Carolina at 2 p.m., Texas A&M at the same time, and then Tennessee at 4 p.m., Ole Miss at 5 p.m. with the Grove Bowl.
Yep.
I am pumped about this. Not a lot of people get into this, but you get to see the guys that just came into the past recruiting class.
Yeah, all the new recruits.
Yeah, all the new guys that you haven't seen just yet. Now, some of these recruits don't enroll early, so they're not going to be there till the fall, but you get an idea of what's coming up for the next season. For teams like Alabama, LSU, that every year lose guys to the draft, right? That's because those guys have been playing a ton.
Sure.
Then you get to see the next crop before the season starts. It's kind of a big deal. So, very, very important and very fun. And this year, you're already a fully vaccinated man, right?
Yes.
I will be a fully vaccinated man at the beginning of April. I'm going to go to the game. I'm going to the Alabama A-Day game and taking my 2-year-old for the first time. So we'll see what happens with that. But that is the plan. And, I have not been to a football game in 2 years now. Didn't get to go during the COVID season. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. Just saying. It's been a while for you as well, right?
Well, to go anywhere, yes.
Yeah.
To go to a spring game, never.
Not that interested in that. I understand.
Never. It just doesn't.
I will tell you this.
For me.
I would rather take the 2-year-old to a spring game where it won't matter when we leave, really, because I'll be able to go back and watch this and it won't matter, right? It's a practice.
The idea that you're going to go back and rewatch something that you saw in person is insane to me.
Yeah, but if I've got the 2-year-old, I may not see all of it in person.
Who cares?
I will tell you this, and I do.
You don't need to see any of it, by the way.
I do this every year.
I know that.
I have all of them recorded.
You go watch all of them.
I go watch every SEC team, and then if there are other ones, I've watched several Big Tens and whatnot. Normally the bigger name teams and whatnot. Yeah, but I go back and watch all these. I know you do. I try and get an idea going into the season.
It tells you nothing.
You're probably right. So far,
You're competing with sleep for content. You know the internet's out there, right? You know there's stuff on the internet.
This is true. I like
awesome.
to see it with my own eyes.
Content is amazing right now. I give you a couple of shows to entertain you a lot better than that.
To give me something better than spring football. Let's move on. Topic number 2. This is a pretty big one. The ACC has changed their rules, and they are going to allow players to transfer within the conference.
Yeah,
this is a pretty big deal. The SEC did this a couple of years ago. It's fairly big.
The SEC allows it, but they don't always allow the player to start immediately.
This is true.
Is the ACC going to allow them to play immediately?
Yes.
That's a lot different.
Well,
but one little caveat:
the transfer rules are supposedly going to change, right?
Well, but they're not now.
They're not.
So individual conferences are making their own rules because the NCAA really good about dragging their ass.
Well, now this is still up to the NCAA. The NCAA, as of right this second, still has to approve somebody for a waiver to play immediately.
I know they do, but also the conference has to approve them.
This is true.
So we've had NCAA approved, conference not approved, and that's happened.
So, John Swofford was the former ACC commissioner.
Okay.
The new guy is Jim Phillips, right? The time has come for
that's the athletic director from Northwestern.
Yes.
We know that guy.
The time has come for all student athletes to have the opportunity to transfer and be permitted to compete immediately, said first-year ACC commissioner Jim Phillips. This decision is in the best interest of our student athletes as it allows greater flexibility during their collegiate career. The decision, which was unanimously approved by the ACC Board of Directors, reverses the previous rule, which mandated that players sit out 2 full academic semesters or 3 full quarters before regaining athletic eligibility. The NCAA Division I Council tabled a national one-time transfer proposal in January. Even though the vote was delayed, the organization still has the issue on its radar and is likely to focus heavily on it in the coming months.
Yeah, likely to focus heavily on it. Sounds like a whole lot of I'm not doing shit anytime soon. That's what I get from that.
Yeah, probably.
Call me next week if I'm wrong.
It might be a little more than next week.
Oh, you think?
I think it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while.
All right.
But
we're going to work on it, though. Guys, don't worry. We're working on it. It's an issue. Do you think we should do it, yes or no? There's no work. The work's been done.
Yes. Everybody vote.
Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yes.
We killing the guy? We letting him live? What are we doing?
We're on the side of the players. We always have been.
Oh, yeah.
Transferring, I say we always have been. I have not always been. It's been several years since I was thinking antiquatedly.
That's right.
So, moving on from there, we are going to move into a different realm here. The HBCU Legacy Bowl in New Orleans was announced last week. It is going to be in February. The Black College Football Hall of Fame established the game. It will showcase NFL draft eligible players from historically black colleges and universities. It's going to take place on the Saturday after the Super Bowl. It's at Tulane's Ullman Stadium. It's going to be shown on the NFL Network.
So this is a senior day, for a senior bowl, but it's not just seniors. It's all
anybody that's draft
eligible. So if you're a junior, you can go as well, which is good because they probably won't have enough seniors that are gonna be pro prospects.
Agreed.
To fill a game.
Yeah. No. But
if you make it juniors and seniors, they absolutely will have enough, and it'll be awesome. That's good.
I think this is a good thing.
Do they go to the Senior Bowl now? Before this thing is started?
The HBCUs? Yes. Grambling has had multiple players.
I know Jackson State has had a couple. I've seen guys, but they're less spots, obviously, because the Senior Bowl can only take so many kids.
Right, and they're taking from the entire plethora.
Yeah. I mean, that's FBC and
FCS
and FBS. Yeah. That's everybody. They get their own window. They'll get to showcase themselves. I bet it'll help a lot more of them get drafted because
I think so.
They'll get seen.
Well, especially with the fact that this is going to be the week after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, when teams are actually paying attention to rebuilding their rosters.
Yes, which another part of this, it's part of Black History Month as well.
Well, no, that's also, all of this works out really well. I was curious when I've looked at in the past, FCS at any point in time, would they consider doing their own
They're on like
Senior Bowl.
Or like a pro day kind of thing for all of them
the whole
together,
school, all the schools together, because most of them aren't big enough to ever have a pro day. But if all of the seniors that think they're pro eligible or whatnot can get together,
I
one
think
facility, one place.
It's been something that should have been done a while ago.
I think so.
And now you've actually got the resources and the ability to do it. Like Tulane is a big sponsor of this. Obviously, they're hosting it.
That's right.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame is doing it. The College Football Hall of Fame, the NFL and NFL Network are partners in this as well. I think it's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely.
And remember, if you look back through history, some of the Hall of Fame players in the NFL came from HBCUs.
So there was a comment, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago about Coach Prime's recruiting class. This is going to be the greatest HBCU class of all time.
Well,
there was
not of all time.
There was a couple of sports writers whoa, let's calm down, because there was a class of one team that had
Walter Payton, Jerry Rice.
No, because I'm talking one class on one team. There was one team, it was the Walter Payton team in college. And if you look at that team, I think there are 5 or 7 Hall of Famers from that team.
That is insane.
Let's be real. The greatest classes of all time, LSU's put into the NFL, Alabama's put into the NFL, Ohio State's. They ain't got 5 Hall of Famers in one class.
Nope.
Nobody.
Nope.
All right. So, Coach Prime, let's do a little history. Let's be real careful saying, I'm going to build the greatest team that HBCU's ever seen. Because you got some history behind you that I don't know is ever going to get matched.
The recruiting rankings and whatnot have only been going on for
Walter Payton
20 years.
Didn't have stars next to his name.
No, nobody knew. You know, it just was what it was.
That's right.
So let's
move on.
Let's move on.
Sorry.
And no, you're good. That's this show was supposed to be entertaining. That's what we we come up with knowledge, man.
I just ramble.
We dropped that information. The NCAA committee is recommending a May 31st end to the recruiting dead period. Thank God. We have been harping on this
May 31st
for forever.
That's 2.5 months away.
It is. Well, I don't know. It's
2 full months away.
Yeah, it's 2 full
at least
months
a week
and then whatever.
and a half.
I mean, it's ridiculous, yes, but by that point, the majority of people should be vaccinated, right? Not the high schoolers, not the teens, but the coaches and whatnot should all be vaccinated at that point. So maybe that's good. I guess. I don't know. Boy, I have a wicked itch on my nose for anybody that thinks I'm sitting here picking my nose.
I don't care. Pick it, man.
So
it's just you and me in here.
It was the dead period was implemented on March 13th of 2020. It has been extended 8 times due to the pandemic. Basically, what this means for anybody that doesn't understand, schools in all sports have not been allowed to host recruits nor visit them in their homes or at their schools. There has been no in-person contact between coaches and these recruits in it's been 12 months at this point, so it will be 15 by the time.
By then.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. So March 13th of 2020, and we're recording this on.
But we're not going to let them. We're not going to let them transfer. I know that you chose the school even though you've never been there, you've never gone, and you thought you liked it based on this Zoom call that you had, but you really don't know anything about it at all. The pictures on the brochure look amazing.
Pretty much. Now the good thing is a lot of these, the issue is going to be the upcoming classes. Yeah. A lot of the juniors and whatnot, especially the bigger name kids.
I know. They've been going since they were sophomores.
The ones that have fallen between the cracks are the ones that really develop from their sophomore year in high school through their senior year.
Yeah, because that doesn't happen to high schoolers at all.
Right. And so that's the thing, right? A lot of them have fallen through the cracks. They didn't get opportunities that they normally would have to be seen at camps. People to see them in person when they were there to see somebody else or what. It's just it's a mess. So I'm glad that they are finally ending it.
Me too.
And, we may feel like it's a little too late. Whatever it takes to get it done. Now that they're getting it done, I'm okay.
Sure.
Let's just get this thing knocked out. Moving on, and this will be the last news topic. the Pac-12 network might be likely to be canceled. They are having serious discussions about this. The still current commissioner is Larry Scott, and he had the bright idea. We've talked about this multiple times because Larry Scott fired, resigned, whatever you want to say, retired, something or other. By summertime, he's going to be out of here, and they're going to have a new commissioner. They have not hired one as of yet. But he had the bright idea years ago that rather than sell the conference's TV rights, like everybody else has done, and they've all made money hand over fist off of this.
Like obscene money.
Because they all know these cable companies and whatnot. They all understand how to
think
get
of the
distribution.
grossest, most obscene thing that you can imagine. Put a dollar figure next to that.
Yes. So his bright idea was, well, we're just going to own all of our media rights. The problem with that is if nobody cares about the product,
that's right.
It doesn't matter if you own all of it. And that's what made the SEC and the Big Ten, et cetera, so successful was they partnered with major brands. The SEC took a complete crap deal with CBS years ago, but they got that Saturday afternoon national window, and it made them a national brand. And even though everything, obviously CBS, we feel like should have changed their
every
contract.
House in the country had SEC football on.
Yes,
because it was on a major network.
Yes, and that's the thing. They built these brands. Everybody from coast to coast knew Alabama, knew LSU, knew Tennessee, Florida, etc.
They knew Ole Miss.
Yes,
like they knew the middle tier schools.
Yes,
they know them all because they see them all.
And there are people that
this was back in the day when not everybody had cable.
Yeah.
Not everybody had ESPN.
Yeah. But when you own national network TV, it is so either way, he had the bright idea that they were going to start their own network. They were still going to work their deals out with Fox and ESPN and whatever. But
they got to have some games on national TV.
But the bulk is going to be on the Pac-12 network. So all these other things were just going to be their own thing. They were going to build their own studio, and they built their own studio right in the middle of the Bay Area, right in the middle of San Francisco. So their rent cost an absolute fortune. All the setup, hiring all the people costs a fortune. Yeah. Like that is
the most expensive area in the country.
Yes.
We're going to do all of these things that nobody else has done. ESPN said we're going to do this for the SEC. Where'd they put it?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Not even in an SEC state, but it's cheap.
Yep.
And it's a big enough city where they got a big enough airport where we can get people in and out of there.
You got it. You
pay somebody $50,000 a year there, and that's a decent living.
And this is not, we're obviously, we are based in the SEC. This is not an SEC versus Pac-12 thing. This is common sense versus stupidity kind of thing.
That's right.
Because the Big Ten has done the same thing. The Big 12 has done the same thing.
Yes.
The ACC started their own network. Granted, it was a little late. It was after the bubble had already burst.
Yeah, they were late to the party, but they still got one.
Still making money.
And they're still making grossly more money than the Pac-12 has ever seen. And also, somebody raise your hand if you have the Pac-12 network.
That's the deal, right? The Mercury News is reporting the Pac-12 subscriber base is now less than $15 million. Or 15 million people. That's insane. All these TV sets across this country, you got less than 15 million of them that actually are able to get the Pac-12 network. On top of that, all of this stuff that's been going on, they still haven't gotten a new commissioner. They still don't know what they're going to do going forward, but it's going to cost this conference so much money to close up shop with this. They might be able to make some back, but if you look at what Larry Scott told all these Pac-12 schools forever ago, he said that we're going to start out by making about $3 million per school off of this, and that will grow. Grow. I mean, this has been a decade. Yep. They have yet to make $3 million a school.
So I would like you to
it's gone down.
Put real numbers into things. So let's say they did make $3 million, which they've never made. What is the SEC getting on this new deal? What are we getting per school?
$69 million per school. But that's not just SEC Network, right? That's SEC Network and
ESPN
it's our TV deal. And whatever.
But that's our TV deal.
The Pac-12's TV deal, as of right now, the new one pops up in 2024 or 2025, one or the other. Their TV deal, as of right now, is paying them about $22 million per school.
Okay.
The SEC right now is making $54 million per school per year. Yeah. That's more than double for anybody that's bad with math. That's insane. And the Big Ten currently is making more than the SEC. The new SEC deal goes into effect in 2023, I want to say. But that's absurd. Now, the Big 12, they're a little further behind. The ACC, a little further behind. But they are still drastically higher than what the Pac-12 is making. And that is part of the reason why the Pac-12 has fallen off the face of the planet as far as the Power 5 goes. That's right. They have fallen behind everybody else because the financials are not there. And
this is why the Americans should be above them. It's not close.
If you look at now, the American is making substantial. They make, even with their new contract, they make $7 million a year,
and they're a lot better than the Pac-12.
And they're a better football,
a lot better.
Product.
But it's because of the cities they're in.
Yes,
it's because their schools are based in Philadelphia, Memphis, Orlando, Houston, Cincinnati. Like, they're in big cities with a lot of local homegrown kids. You don't have to spend millions of dollars in recruiting.
Yeah.
While it would be nice to have millions of dollars, you don't need it because you can go in a 2, 4, 6 hour circle around where you are and get plenty of talent to compete.
And this is not to shortchange the AC or AAC schools, but a little bit easier to get into those schools than it is to get into some of these Pac-12 schools.
Okay, the Pac-12, yes. The rest of the Power 5, no. And
however,
the Americans better than a lot of other Power 5 too.
Agreed. But the rest of the Power 5 has the money to be able to keep that thing going, to make all these trips and do all that. The American doesn't have that much money to be able to do it, but they do have a bunch of talent in their backyard that may not be able to get in school in some of these other places. So just throwing that stuff out there. But yeah, the Pac-12 network, subscriber base, less than 15 million people, and what a joke that whole thing has become. I really hope that they get a decent commissioner, because when the Pac-12 is good, I think it's better for college football all around. But we shall see. We shall see. All right, moving on. We're going to stay in season, and it is March right now.
Sure.
We are in the middle of the NCAA tournament, and we're going to talk about what would happen. Now, obviously, ESPN has done this huge article about a college football field of 64. They did theirs based on the upcoming season, like predictions based on that and all that, which is impossible to do. We're going to go rankings. We're going to go based on the back, right? We're going back to 2020. We're going to look at what the matchups would have been if this was a 16-team tournament, which I don't think is that far out of the realm of possibilities, but we got to get to 8 before we can expand even further. But once they see the paychecks coming in from 8, then it's going to become an even bigger thing, and we'll see. Start us off. I took a few liberties, by the way. I think I only took one liberty to be able to move teams to avoid rematches. I moved North Carolina back to 14 and Northwestern up to 13 just to avoid a rematch here. Okay. So it actually avoids 2 rematches. But either way, start off with this. Number 1, Alabama would be faced off against number 16, BYU. Imagine that in Tuscaloosa. That'd be a lot of fun. The next one, we already saw it. Number 8, Cincinnati against number 9, Georgia. Those 2 winners would face off. Georgia won that one. Now, we already saw Alabama, Georgia, but we didn't see Georgia with JT Daniels. Yeah. So, and Alabama had
You can't avoid rematches. Trying to avoid rematches is foolish.
But you can avoid them until at least the second round, right?
That's fine.
I'm okay with that.
I actually don't care. Let the seeding fall where it may.
I could be okay with that. Texas A&M, number 5 seed against number 12 Coastal Carolina. You could really foresee like a 12-5 upset there, like just like in college basketball. I could see Coastal Carolina being able to do.
I think all these are fun matchups.
Oh, absolutely. The winner of that would face the winner of number 4 Notre Dame and number 13 Northwestern.
Yeah, great game by the way.
Yes, very defensive football game, low scoring. Take the under.
That's right. That'd have been an awesome football game.
Most certainly. And then number 6, Oklahoma against number 11, Indiana. Now, that would have been much better if we still had Michael Penix. Obviously, he was injured at the end of the year, but imagine Spencer Rattler against Michael Penix Jr. That'd be a lot of fun.
Look, man, I'd like to see Spencer Rattler against that Indiana defense that we saw last year.
I agree.
I don't know that that's unfair to say I want to watch that matchup.
I mean, I do agree there. I think they would have a much better shot of winning because we did, like, Indiana's defense held Ole Miss to 26 points, but they still only scored 20. Like, they got beat by Ole Miss in the bowl game.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not like you're trying to make a great game, and I sometimes you just let it fall.
I think it's a great game anyway. I think you'll find this one interesting. Okay. I think we would have a chance at an upset on this one.
Okay.
The winner of Oklahoma, Indiana would play the winner of number 3, Ohio State, and number 14, North Carolina. North Carolina would have matched up well against that Ohio State defense.
I don't know that I agree with that.
I think so.
I did not think North Carolina was super impressive last year.
I think offensively, North Carolina could put up points on Ohio State. I think this is one of those where you would see.
Well, yeah, a lot of defenses were bad. Sure,
agreed.
I don't think that North Carolina defense would have stopped Ohio State ever.
No, that's what I'm saying. And I don't know that Ohio State's defense would have really been able to put.
Yeah, they would have made. They've got guys on there that can make play. All you need is one big third down, and then you've changed the game because now the team has to punt or a turnover. All you need is a defensive star to get a big third down or a turnover. Ohio State has guys that can do that at least once in a game.
Yeah.
In a game in which you can't stop them at all, they're going to stop you at least once if you're North Carolina. This isn't Alabama's offense. This isn't 2019 LSU, okay?
That's true.
That
is true.
This is North Carolina who could run the ball real well, but that's about it.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Like I think
they didn't scare me last year.
I think highly of Sam Howell.
That's fine. You might. That's okay. You can think highly of him. I think he's really good also. Last year, he wasn't great. He was good.
And Daz Newsome as a wide receiver is a good, steady wide receiver, but he wasn't Devonta Smith and he wasn't Jalen Waddle and all that.
So I don't think that would have I would have taken Ohio State in the points, and then I don't like taking chalk.
Totally fair. And our final quad here, our pod, whatever you want to call it. Number 7, Florida against number 10, Iowa State.
Yeah, that'd have been I do think that would have been a great game.
Yes.
One of the most likable coaches in football against one of the biggest assholes in football. Yeah, that'd have been an awesome game.
Now, the winner of that game would face off against number 2, Clemson, against number 15, Iowa. I think that would have been a fun matchup.
I do.
Like, Iowa was playing so well at the end of the season.
At the end of the year, yeah.
I really think they could have given Clemson a run for their money.
Outside of Notre Dame, that might have been the best. That would have been the best defense Clemson would have played all year.
Yeah.
Not that Notre Dame slowed Clemson down at all, but I tell you this: they wouldn't have put up 400 and something yards and all those points against Iowa. The game would have looked different.
Yes, I agree. So that whole thing, it's fun to think of these hypotheticals, but
hang on,
it's going to be a while.
This is why I argue people who run college football need to see this not as a gimmick, not as something stupid. They need to stop seeing teams like Alabama or last year LSU and saying, oh, well, why does it matter who we let in this thing? They can't win it. Bama would have beaten everybody. Last year, LSU would have beaten everybody. Make the field 64 teams. They would have beaten all of them. Like, that's not the purpose. Look at the college basketball tournament now. Oral Roberts won 2 games that nobody in the world thought they could win.
That's true.
Right? And now, let's say they get beat by 50 next week. Okay? Let's say it's just the greatest bloodbath the NCAA has ever seen. They're hanging a banner. They're going to be hailed and praised and celebrated when they get back to campus like no one has ever been praised.
And you didn't have to win a national championship.
Yes, it actually makes your whole tournament matter because in college football, it is all about the guy who holds the trophy at the end. Only one team gets to do that, and you got 130 teams playing. College basketball, 16 guys get to hang up a Sweet 16.
Yeah,
8 teams get to hang up an Elite 8 banner.
The other side of this is it used to be like that with the bowls, right?
Yeah.
And so you'd have everybody was happy that they made a bowl game and
Yes.
we won a bowl and whatnot. The players are seeing through that.
Well, but here's the thing. I'll tell you this. There's never been an Outback Bowl winner that's been happier than a 14 seed upsetting a 3 seed and going to the next day.
That is true.
Next day. I'm talking win one game in a tournament where you don't belong. That team, and then get obliterated the next day. That team, 1,000,000 times happier than the winner of the Outback Bowl.
Yeah.
Because they actually really accomplished something. The Outback Bowl is just a made up game where sponsors pick 2 teams from 2 conferences that they just want to see it happen, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We
players are seeing through the bowl game thing.
Oh yeah, the bowl game is complete shams.
Which is why so many opt out.
We really need to get this thing, and I think it's better for ESPN. I think it's better for the TV markets to do it as well, because right now, these bowl games matter not at all. So just
we'll still watch them. We still enjoy them,
but they don't matter.
Yeah, that's it. You're 100% right.
How many more people would watch that bowl game if it was a first round 16 team tournament?
Yeah,
I bet the number would go from 3 million people watching it to 30 million people. Maybe not 30, but it would
3 to 10.
Yeah, I'm about to say it would triple.
Yeah, I think it absolutely would.
So
I'm with you.
Anyway,
I'm with you. I like the idea of more brackets and whatnot. Give more teams the opportunity, because
a team like Cincinnati probably can't win the national championship. But if they won a game in a college football playoff, if they upset Georgia, which they almost beat them in the bowl game anyway, if they beat them in what would have been the playoff, that would have been something they could have remembered for, and they would have been remembered forever.
Yes, 100%. I'm with you. I agree. I'm on the 16-team bandwagon.
No,
that's what I want.
No. It's the only right answer.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you do that, by the way. By doing that, you have all of the Power 5 champions in here except for Oregon, and you can put them in place of BYU or whoever.
No,
right?
you wouldn't kick out on that. You would kick out one of the an at-large from one of the other conferences. That's just what you got to do.
Yeah, Indiana probably.
Yeah. Somebody like that's going to get bounced.
Is what it is. All right, moving on. Let's talk FCS Week 5 notes. We'll do a quick recap on what happened in Coach Prime's conference or division or whatever you want to call it. Starting off with Coach Prime. Took his first loss as a coach, and it was absolute haywire.
Yeah.
Alabama State beat Jackson State 35-28. It was crazy back and forth. Jackson State was down 14-6 at halftime. They were up 21-14 going into the fourth quarter. And then it was just haymaker after haymaker after haymaker, just nonstop all the way until the final whistle. And Alabama State scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to be able to walk out of there with a 35-28 win. And if you have not seen it or gone back, just go watch the highlights on YouTube. It is insane what all happened in this game. North Dakota State, they are back, baby. They put an absolute beating on number 2 North Dakota, 34-13. Was not even close.
What does line finish at? Finally open at and get to?
It got to.
I forgot to check.
It was like 8.
Yeah,
8.
It was bigger than I thought. I thought it was going to be. I heard that, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. So I mean, North Dakota had played insanely well all year.
Yeah,
but a lot of those had been at home. The one road game was against a very inferior opponent. You go up against the big dog, and the big dog's already wounded.
That's right.
That's the big thing. And
Zeb
Nolan,
had everything to lose.
We talked last week about Cam Mitchell coming in and whatnot. He played a little bit, but Zeb Nolan was the dude, and he didn't make mistakes in this game. That's a big, big thing. Staying in the Missouri Valley, South Dakota State, they whooped number 5 Southern Illinois. Number 6 beat number 5 44-3. 44-3. Southern Illinois has 2 losses. They also have 2 top 5 wins this year. That's insane to me. But either way, they got their rear ends handed to them. And staying again in the MVC, Bobby Petrino
Missouri State
still doing his damn thing.
Is that it?
Missouri State moves to 3-1 in the Missouri Valley Conference after they win at number 10 Northern Iowa. That is Northern Iowa's second loss this season. They beat them 13-6. Now,
it's a good coach.
A Bobby Petrino win, you would typically expect more points than 13, and you certainly would not expect that defense to only give up 6 points, right?
Right.
Let's talk about the MVC standings. Okay. We talked about this conference kind of eating itself alive, right?
Yeah, this is the best conference in.
Oh, yes, by far. There are 4 teams with only 1 loss right now. North Dakota State, South Dakota State, and North Dakota are all sitting at 4-1 in conference. Missouri State is sitting right there at 3-1. 3-1. Now, I will point this out about Missouri State, and there are several other teams as well. I think there were 10 teams that played games in the fall and have come back to play.
But hang on, that game in the fall, that's not their 1 loss, right?
No. Okay. Missouri State got beat by North Dakota State.
That's what
just
I
a couple
thought.
weeks ago.
I was about to say that happened.
Yeah, they're 3-1 right now. They were 0-3 in the fall.
Their 1 loss happened in August. I was like, how in the hell does that count?
Their first loss was against
North Dakota State.
No, their first loss back in the fall was against Oklahoma.
No,
that's the game that Spencer Rattler threw for half. It was 48-0.
Yeah,
whatever. But wipe all that crap out. None of that stuff matters for the FCS playoffs.
Right.
The teams that actually played in the fall have actually looked really, really good.
Well, yeah, it's kind of I know it's hard but like
it's a little bit of experience. You get to learn the playbook early. Like
it was weird that we saw the teams that had a spring practice in FBS did pretty well early on. Did much better early on, and so yeah, it's kind of weird. I have no idea how practicing 6 months ago and then not practicing and then starting at the same time as everybody else, and that 1 week of practice 6 months ago makes you better today. I don't know.
Well, I think because all of them were allowed to practice and whatnot.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but a lot of these teams chose we don't want to put the extra wear and tear. We don't want to do all that, and by doing that, they didn't even start until closer to Christmas. So then you've only got 6 weeks before the middle of February.
Well, now if the other teams were working out the entire time,
exactly, getting the plays in,
then that's different.
Through NCAA rules, they were allowed to actually have full practices and scrimmages and all that kind of mess in the fall if they wanted.
The teams that were doing that are gonna be the best teams in.
Absolutely. Number 19 VMI continues their undefeated record right now. They won 38-37 at Samford in overtime. Like that is 2 overtime games VMI has done.
God.
But Samford over in Birmingham, yeah. And then finally,
that's a bad team.
Oh, but they're not great.
This undefeated team is scraping
by everybody
like trash.
Number 11 Chattanooga beats number 13 Furman 20-18. They kicked the game-winning field goal with less than 8 minutes left, and then that defense held firm.
Chattanooga has been much better than I thought they were going to be this year.
Yes, the Mocs have looked really good.
I did not think they were going to be great this year.
The Paladins took another L here, and it is what it is. But yeah, it was a fun week, and now we move into week number 6, and this is the week where not a lot is actually going on.
Yeah, most of these teams said go up against the NCAA or take a bye. We'll take the bye.
We'll take a week off and then figure things out.
That's what I would have done, by the way.
First game on the docket. Let's move with this one. Incarnate Word, the Cardinals playing at the Nicholls Colonels. Incarnate Word is 3-0. And they are ranked in the top 25 right now.
So this isn't Nicholls State. This
is Nicholls State.
Oh, it is Nicholls State. When you said
Nicholls
the Nicholls, I was like,
yeah,
there can't be two
Louisiana
called. Okay, I know who they are then.
It's Saturday, March 27th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN+.
Baseball team used to be real good.
The spread on this one, analytically, has Nicholls winning by 4.
Yeah.
Nicholls, they got their brains beat in by Sam Houston, but they have looked amazing.
Yeah, I was about to say
else.
that's an offense that if they get loose on you, you just can't stop them.
Incarnate Word kind of has the same thing. I mean, they're averaging 40 points a game.
Yeah, I was about to say they're I don't know. I'd probably take the points.
Even on the road, I think I'd probably take Incarnate Word.
Yeah, I'd take the points.
Because I think they're going to be an underdog.
Yeah, that's it. if they're the dog. But I kind of think I take the points no matter what. I mean, this is where we've been in this sport, right?
Yeah, no, that is true.
Like, just take the dog blindly. Now, last weekend, I think some favorites covered.
Some.
But just take the points.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are right about that. All right, we will move on from there. And the next game up, we have got Southern Illinois, the Salukis. We just talked about them getting their brains beat in. They are 4-2 right now. They get to go play against Bobby Petrino and those Missouri State Bears.
Ouch.
This is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN+. Southern Illinois, as of right now, analytically, they are favored by 3. 24-21 game. Missouri State at home, right now, I'm going to have to believe in them. Like, I know that Southern Illinois, they've beaten 2 top 5 teams, but they've also gotten beat up in 2 other games. Yeah. So I kind of think that I would roll. Like, Missouri State's only loss was to North Dakota State.
So I'm with you here. Here's the analogy I'm going to use, okay? All these coaches in FCS, they're good football coaches, okay?
Well, yeah.
They're college, small-tier college football coaches, but they're competitive. They're good guys. And then every now and then you just drop a shark in there.
That is true.
And that's what they did. Somebody brought in a ringer. This guy's a professional football coach.
I mean, he coached in the NFL. And we don't have to talk about all the other mess that went on with him at Arkansas and Louisville and at the Falcons.
No, listen. But I'll use the old Steve Spurrier line on. Nobody ever called him a loser until he decided to quit.
That's the truth.
Okay. Now, when he quits, whoo,
everybody gets on him.
He quit. No, because he quits. Because he outright quit. He quits trying. He's going to cash that check as long as you realized he's still there. But he is not there.
But when he's
working,
determined,
when he goes to work,
he will out scheme with the best of them.
He does not belong in this conference.
No, I do agree with that.
That's the difference. Not that they're going to win all the games. Obviously, they're not.
No.
Not that he can't be beat. But anytime you think it's going to be close, you know what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the coach.
I'll roll with Missouri State. I'll roll Bobby Petrino.
Yeah,
I like it.
And I don't like betting favorites, but
I can understand.
But I'm also afraid of sharks.
Moving on, the Kennesaw State Owls are sitting at 3-0 right now, and they are in the top 10. They look like a fantastic football team. Another one of these triple option teams.
Yep.
Against the Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs.
I do think that running the triple option in this division is dangerous.
Yeah. I'm with you. The analytics have this one, Kennesaw State 31-24. Kennesaw State is a fantastic football team. They have been for years. And
so that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. My guess is it'll probably open a little higher than that.
See, this is the hard thing because we don't really know what these numbers are going to be.
Not at the time
they're not going to open until the day of the game. Maybe a couple of days before.
Some weeks earlier, when we were doing this, they were coming out on the day that we record.
No, but they're not. That is gone bye-bye.
It's been several weeks now.
We haven't seen an early line in a while.
It's been a while.
I quit checking after Wednesday, and if it's not out by Wednesday, I'm just not going to. I'm not following up again.
That one is Saturday, March 27th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Plus. Yeah. It's a Big South Conference game. Basically, all of these are on ESPN Plus or on Flow Sports, unless you want to watch Jackson State. And ESPN has started throwing them on ESPN2 and ESPNU and whatnot. So that's the only football team that is getting
soul.
It's insane. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand, but it's not like Deion's out there playing.
And I'm not knocking Jackson State for it, but what else are you putting on TV where you can't put these other games on? Some of these matchups have been awesome.
Yes. I don't understand. I probably never will.
No.
It is what it is.
I'll definitely never be a program director.
No, you got that right.
That is not a job that I would be qualified for or anybody would want me to do.
I think no matter what this number is, if it's under double digits, I'll roll Kennesaw State.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd
like it to be a touchdown.
Gardner-Webb has looked good.
Than that. Yeah.
But, man, Kennesaw's
been rolling, folks.
They're a different level. All right, moving on. Game number 4.
We're the only undefeated team left?
No. There's several. Incarnate Word's undefeated. So,
yeah, you just said that.
Yeah, and Gardner-Webb is 2-0. This next one that I'm getting into.
All right. I'm talking about teams that've got like 4 or 5 games under their belt.
No. Delaware sitting at 2-0. The Delaware Blue Hens are traveling to the Rhode Island Rams, who are also 2-0. This is Saturday, March 27th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Flow Sports. You got to pay $30 a month to watch that junt. Delaware is favored analytically, metrically, by 4 points, 27-23. They're expected to win. This is a CAA game. Delaware has surprised some folks so far this year. They are currently ranked at, last I saw, they were number 12. They will probably be top 10 at this point. Delaware looks good, man. That's the home of one. Who?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. That's what it was. Where did Garoppolo play?
Jimmy might have played at Delaware too.
I think it might be the same place. Maybe.
No, I don't know. Hang on.
I know Romo was what? Eastern Washington? Eastern Illinois?
Yeah, Eastern Illinois.
That's it.
Eastern Illinois.
So, but while you're looking that up, I like what Delaware's doing right now. Rhode Island, like, all respect to them. They beat Villanova already this year, and that was expected to be a top 10 team. I think Delaware is the significant.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Eastern Illinois also.
Eastern, that's it.
Him and Romo went to the same. I was about to say, he does not look like a Delaware guy to me.
Nope. But the Blue Hens, man, I don't know if you've seen them. They've got the Michigan kind of helmet.
Yeah.
But it's like a light
I've
blue.
seen. We talked about this last week. I dated a girl from.
That's right. We talked about that.
I know a lot about Delaware. I've been there.
It's Delaware's football team is.
I like it.
They're a lot of fun, man. That's good
I
stuff.
like it in the Northeast. I don't know if you know this about me.
Have you seen their logo?
But yes, I've seen that. Well, I haven't seen their logo in probably 20 years.
It's a blue hen. It's
but
like
I've
this
seen
gigantic blue flopping chicken, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I show my 2-year-old. He loves it.
I like it up there. I like Rhode Island. I like the Northeast. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan.
We all know you love Boston.
Yes, but it's not just like Boston's a bunch of massholes. When you get outside of Boston, like you're talking like salt of the earth. Like these people are great.
But yeah.
They're friendly and I've really, and it's coastal, but it's not hot. See, I'm gigantic, Harry. I don't like sand. And they don't really have sand. They have like rocks. When you walk on the beach in Florida, your feet catch on fire and you're sweating your ass off. Even though you're in the water, you're still just sun's beating down. You're just like, how am I in the water and I'm still cooking like a piece of rotisserie gold? What are we doing? No.
But up there, it's
you go to Cape Cod, you go, it's beautiful.
Beautiful part of the world.
Not 1,000 degrees.
And
you can breathe. It's pretty humid.
Well, yeah,
right.
During the summer.
I digress again.
Let's move on. This is the last one. This was a Sunday game, March 28th.
Hey, who are they playing? I forgot all about the game that we just talked
Delaware
about.
And Rhode Island.
And Rhode Island. I knew that.
We talked about that.
Okay. Sorry.
The Austin Peay Governors.
That's our boy.
They lost that first game.
Yep. Hadn't lost since.
I know
that.
2-1 now.
I might be wagering on Wonder Boy.
I can understand it.
I do like. Say that I was trying to not like him, but I kind of do like him.
I think he's a good coach. They are playing at Jacksonville State. The
he's
Gamecocks.
Like 27 years old.
I think
24.
I think he's close to 30. But either way, he's still young chicken, right? Speaking of chicken, Gamecocks 3-0 as of right now. Jacksonville State. Of course, they looked pretty good in the fall as well. That's another one of those teams that played in the fall. Austin Peay did the same thing.
Jacksonville State played a lot of games in the fall, didn't they?
They
play 4?
They played 4 games. They beat
Arkansas State.
No.
Who did they beat?
They beat Florida International.
Butch
Davis.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, shit.
That's right. So, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Plus on Sunday, March 28th. The metrics have Jacksonville State. Sorry, wrong note down. Jacksonville State favored by a touchdown, 27-20 in this game.
Over Austin Peay? Give me the points.
I found that to be a lot of points.
Give me the points.
I was really surprised that that's what it threw out there.
I think that kid's really smart. What's his name?
Scotty Waldron.
Scotty Waldron?
Waldron.
Waldron. All right, I'm never going to say that right. I've already got it in my head wrong. And anyway, he's really smart. He really is
Yes. And Austin Peay is a program that has been built from the ground up. They're not. But remember, they went from Will Healy to Mark Hudspeth, who was the coach at Louisiana Lafayette, who had to deal with all the NCAA.
When you're only losing coaches because they're getting bigger jobs, that means your job's continuously getting better and better.
Well, the Hudspeth thing was weird. Remember, he resigned in June or July of last year, and it was, personal matter, spending more time with my family, like something was up.
Did we ever figure out what was up?
No.
Because we all kind of assumed, I know this is a terrible thing, we all just kind of assumed it was like a Me Too thing, right? And I know that's completely wrong. That's what I thought. Okay, I can't speak for all. That's what I thought.
No, there were rumors.
We were going to find out that.
There were rumors online about it.
But it doesn't matter. But outside of that, the program is going in the right direction. Yes. Like, nobody's getting fired because you've won 3 games in 3 years.
No, that's correct. Will Healy built this up, and then Mark Hudspeth took it to that next level. They went 11-2, made it to the playoffs.
Right. And Scott's going to take it.
Yes.
I think he's going to continue to grow that.
Yeah.
Until somebody snatches him. I mean, he's not going to be there long either, by the way.
Ooh, he's going to end up being an FBS coach.
Oh, yeah.
At big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Probably quick, too.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Like, there's a world where after next year, because he'll have 2 seasons under his belt because he gets this year and next year.
Well, he gets this year and he gets spring and the fall.
And then a bunch of coaches are going to get fired next December.
It's possible. Now, there's not a lot of coaches that move from FCS up. Typically, you have to win national championships and stuff like that. But
I think we're getting into a realm where smaller schools paying 2-3 coaches at a time.
I mean, there's a reason why Will Healy got the Charlotte job.
Yeah, and at some point in time, they want to, they need somebody on the cheap. Yeah, you need somebody on the cheap, you come get these guys.
And you find somebody that understands how to build a program and how to win when you have comparable talent to everybody else, right?
The problem with Scott is he's not the guy that built a program.
Nope.
He's taken over a program that somebody else built, and then somebody else built on top of it. So what happens when he goes to New Mexico?
If you can keep winning, who knows, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he hadn't been through the ringer the same way, but I mean, Will Healy was a young guy when he took over that job, and he's still young now.
He's still that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, it certainly is. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. You guys have been fantastic. Another week down. We are getting ever so close to the beginning of the college football FBS season, but we're still rolling with the FCS. Just a few more weeks, we'll be knee-deep in playoffs in that. Of course, we're dealing with playoffs with college basketball and whatnot. All of that content, NHL, NFL, NBA, college football, obviously, college basketball, etc., you're going to want to be right here. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. There's a little button below. Also, do us a favor and hit that like button. It is the thumbs-up button down there. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and jump into the comments, of course. We want to hear from you if you have ideas for topics, etc., make sure and jump in with that. Make sure and visit sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That is your one-stop shop for all of your college football gambling needs. All the odds, all the articles, all the analytics, everything is right there. We got a great crew. We are very proud to be associated with them.
Yes.
So go and check them out immediately, right now, because this is the end of the video. Is there anything else we need to hit on?
That's it, brother.
That is it. All right. For SportsbookReview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you again next week.